Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for that amazing show, Dan.
Thanks.
And just to share space with you and just hear all the amazing work your group is doing. My name is Dr. Arash Daneshzadeh. I'm actually a refugee of war myself. I came to the United States under the auspice of political asylum, but invariably there's plenty of fear of persecution as well. My mother was actually a Panther in Algeria. I'm also a North African. She wrote for the Black Panther Party against the persecution of Bear Bears, who are the Afro-North Africans, and anti-Blackness in policies in Algeria during the 1970s. She was expropriated to Iran, where she met my father, had my twin brothers, and my brothers were drafted into the military at 5th grade, and the rest is history. They walked over landmines to clear the way for the genocide against the Kurdish people during the war against Iraq. And there's a great cognitive dissonance being a refugee in the country that's at least partly responsible for putting you here. So I live with that every day. To say that there's a personal connection would be an understatement of why I do what I do. Many of us are well-intentioned, but it's important to be well-informed, both socially and linguistically, but also culturally. I think it would be remiss to go into work without that, at least a certain level of connection that transcends sort of the granular level of ever-shifting policies that were just described, in great detail. I'm a professor of education, sociology, and dare I say critical race theory, roof of the door. Although I hide it in a vehicle of hip hop, so I call it critical hip hop studies. I also teach a class on community organizing and how ethnic studies was brought to PWIs, predominantly white institutions, as well as a class on campus cultures and environments to teach students how to culturally resist through the policies that are at the higher education level within the sector of academia. But why am I here? I'm also the program manager, and it is an honor to assume that role for the last 8 weeks and counting as part of JFCS, Jewish Family and Community Services of the East Bay, and we have 2 offices in Berkeley as well as in Concord. Several of my colleagues are here today, and their work is distinguished, preeminent, and I'm proud and honored to share space with all of them, including folks from our Immigration and Legal Services team, but we also have a Parent and Youth Services team, a Volunteer Services team that also helps us procure so many basic needs for the 530 Afghan clients that we have served to date, expecting another 400 to 500 more within the next year, as well as the Ukrainian Afghan surge that is, ostensibly going to be hitting us soon. So we really try to go 10 toes deep, to say it colloquially, as my students say, and really culturally and respectfully serve our clients, both in terms of legal status adjustment, screening right now 6 to 10 cases a week, according to our ILS director, Kira, who's actually in the audience here with her son. So thank you, Kira, for all the information. But we're working together really as a fluid pipeline. So folks can go from our case managers, and within the first 90 days of parole, start screening them for asylum when appropriate. And in the meantime, thinking about our own bandwidth, because we were serving other clients from all over the globe, especially Central and South America. And it's important to note, a lot of the dialectic, the conversations that we're having right now around brown people who are displaced, is so understated when you look at the broadest swath of how media is portraying what a refugee looks like. And I think it's important to know that there is a binary right now in terms of race and class, and even gender, in terms of some of the privileged ways that we talk about humanizing refugees who are blonde hair and blue-eyed versus the ones that were depicted in the play today. So thank you for using your privilege to really bring that narrative to light. I appreciate you for that. And beyond that, it's important to note that it would be a great disservice if you didn't think about the asylum struggle, the legal status adjustment struggle, and just all the immigration work that's happening if you're not also considering all the wraparound services that go into our work. So as a resettlement program manager, it's incumbent upon me to work with all of our program directors not only individually, but as a fluid pipeline. So not only in terms of parent and youth services, ILS, our immigration and legal services team, but also thinking about what are the basic needs around occupational therapy. People are invariably coming here with a great deal of PTSD from countries where, because of patriarchy or social taboo, they're not able to talk about mental health in the way that's not only well informed, but with